Alrighty boys, so we have a different type of video today. I'm actually going to be talking about a game I no longer like and how the dev team just does not care about the game. 1v1.lol is the game I'm talking about, boys, and I'm going to give you guys some updates on what's been going on recently and kind of just team updates, especially with the X8 and how things ended and how things are going at the moment. I mean, I still have a team, so you know, I'll give more info on that later into the video. Anyways, let's just get straight into it. Alrighty boys, so first I'm going to go ahead and cover a little bit of what I've been doing recently. So I've just been, chilling a little bit, working on the team stuff. I was working specifically on X8, but I had to transfer everything into toxic content. So toxic content will be a content creator only team that will be launching in the month of July officially, and in August we will be starting our official GFX, VFX uploads, and in July we should also be getting more assets and whatnot, and player apps will be out pretty soon for content creators. It's a content creator only team. We're not doing I mean, obviously if a pro player is doing content, then that obviously counts, but we're not looking specifically for just pro players. We mainly want people who create content, such as streamers, people on upload on TikTok, YouTube, any of those platforms with a decent following. You guys can obviously try to apply and join up. We are going to be very active, so we do expect the people to be active, but this isn't what this video is for. I'll have a more in-depth video on our team channel, and I'll go ahead and drop that in the description as well if you guys want to go ahead and check it out. Alrighty boys, so kind of getting back into what we need to actually talk about, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the dev team and how they are failing 1v1.lol. So I hate to be a hater. Obviously I delayed making this video for the longest time. I had a few people who reached out to me recently and asked me to make this video because of how important it is to the community, and people should know like how the dev team actually is behind the scenes, to be honest with you. Now, this is only from my POV. I don't know too many, instances where the dev team has done anything too shady. I mean, obviously, besides my situation. So just to kind of sum it up, they literally just ghosted me after signing me as an employee to just play .lol. I have screenshots of my contract. I have my contract downloaded. I have all the signatures, everything. I even sent them content at some point, and I have in my Google Drive as well. And it's crazy because I'm just gonna give like a mini timeline. If you guys want like a more specific, like where I show up like screenshots and stuff like that, I'll go ahead and do that later on. But obviously drop some likes on this video. If we get 20 likes, I'll go ahead and drop that video as well. But just kind of like a mini little timeline of what happened was back in October, I got reached out to by Creo, who said that the dev team was looking for someone who was older and someone to help run their social media accounts and to help with their community events as well. So I obviously took the job immediately, as I was a content creator for the game at the time, and I loved playing tournaments, and I knew competitive was the way to go when it came to content. Once I got into talks, like Zoom call, stuff like that with the devs, they made it sound very promising. They said that obviously at the start I wouldn't have, full control of everything, but it would be something I would work up into, which I was perfectly fine with. Obviously you can't just hire someone and be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is everything, unless like obviously it was someone who was like super experienced, something like that. I wasn't making experience in social media management. I mean, I had my own socials and I ran my Twitch specifically. I streamed, so I had that experience, but not specifically like YouTube uploads and whatnot. So I was like, okay, I could work with this, why not? So I went ahead and accepted, and I did not get a response for contract until 2 months later in December, which was already a red flag. obviously, you know, they kept saying, oh, you know, our legal team, they haven't made anything, still nothing yet. And then they went on vacation for 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, you know, it's their holiday thing, you know, it's whatever, but should have taken that as another red flag, because they were still online and still messaging people even though they were on quote-unquote vacation. But besides that, there's quite a lot more to talk about that goes behind the scenes on this, so this is kind of where the shitstorm kind of began. So in December, I was told to make a video, and I went ahead and made a video, had it ready, but I needed a few more assets to complete it like 100%. So I went ahead and asked for assets, didn't get a response for 2 weeks. And then I heard that Westrum had come back into the community, and it was just completely random, and I personally it was like, well, you know, like maybe he's gonna come work for Just Play, maybe he's gonna be like someone who's gonna help me out, you know, since I'm like the main guy, whatever, like I'm actually signed contract wise and everything. And it was actually quite the opposite. He was actually my replacement. So kind of something that I learned, you know, a few months ago, especially with how you know, Westrum was like pushing the content. It was literally just regular content. Like I'm not going to shit on Westrum. He obviously has a way bigger following than I do, so he did something that I did not do. And he was there for the blow up of .lol and everything. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty easy to get followers in .lol, but that's not the point. He's actually a good content creator. And this isn't to bash him at all. That's not what I'm here to do. I actually respect his content and everything like that. He actually did reach out to me about this whole situation and actually asked me like what kind of happened a little bit, and I just told him the gist of it. He didn't say much after that, so I can't really give a whole lot of context there, but he did ask about it. He obviously was a little concerned about it because, I mean, he was the next person who took my spot. Who knew someone was going to take his, you know? So at the end of the day, though, it just, the content, it wasn't that they needed like specifically like, you know, like build challenges and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that's cool and stuff like that. But like, the thing is that the only thing keeping the game alive was competitive, because I looked at multiple discords of .lol. All the discords for .lol had competitive incorporated in some type of way, whether it was their competitive teams, whether it was a, you know, tournament server, whether it was a, you know, promotion server, like giveaways and stuff like that, or they would do giveaways for like tournaments. Like it just, most servers had content creation in the competitive scene, and it just made perfect sense to me to kind of, you know, drive the official server's content in that direction, and obviously incorporate for the casuals and stuff like that, like build challenges and stuff like that. Obviously content like that honestly does really work very well, but there has to be a mix in between, because you just go one way, you're going to lose the other side of the community, and that's quite literally what happened. Not only that, but they also needed to focus more on competitive, because competitive was the main driving source of keeping the game alive. That's what I was saying before, because there was literally thousands of members. There were 1,000 member servers in all the competitive servers, and I couldn't even think of one content creator server that had over 1,000, just off of casual, you know, content. No one was really interested in that, at least the people that I knew, and that was the vast majority of the community, because those were mainly the people that are talking in the .lol server. All the content creators are talking about it, and yeah, at that point, once they ghosted me, or when I realized that they ghosted me, was when I messaged them. I think this was like the second week of January, and I saw that Westrum was kind of working with them. And I was like, hey, like, am I not working here anymore? Like, what's going on? Like, am I working? Like, do you guys send me the video? And I even sent them the email of the video. So obviously if they post it, I'm going to sue the shit out of them, because they are just not good people whatsoever, honestly. In my personal opinion, they're just not great people. And, you know, I'm not going to say all of them, obviously. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it was everybody on the dev team. It was a select few. I don't think I've ever had a job where I've been ghosted before. I've had shitty job situations, but like I've never been ghosted for a job like that after being hired. That was like super unprofessional. And they've still never reached out to me about it, even though I've messaged, you know, a few devs on my own as well and asked them like, hey, what's going on? Still just never got a message. It just kind of proved to me that they don't care. They only want what is like so like super money driven. Like they're super money driven. I'm sorry, like their skins that they come out with, you know, their collab, well, not the collabs, but like their you know, their new battle pass and all that. They only care specifically about the income that's coming in, and all they're doing is just trying to become a official Fortnite clone. Which is I know it's been pretty obvious for a while, especially when Battle Royale came out and obviously the whole building setup and everything. But at the end of the day, it feels like a copy of Fortnite, especially the update that came today that I'm releasing this video on. Specifically, they introduced like wood, brick, and metal builds. Like, I don't know. And instead of working on the bug fixes and all the lag, they went ahead and added another POI, you know, more shops, made the map bigger. Like, the main issue is that they don't care about the quality of their game, I feel like. It's more of like how, you know, how much content can we put out, how much can we push out, and how much can we make people watch to generate as much revenue as possible. And in my opinion, I would rather, you know, stab my leg than give out content like that where it's just a pure money grab, honestly, on my end, because I don't see the whole point in that. You know, you're a developer team, you guys should be focusing specifically on like what your community wants, what the, you know, and not just on one side of things. Like I get that they're catering to casuals, but what about all the competitive players? Like there's a bunch of competitive players who've been waiting for events, and the one event they dropped was for like a few .lol coins. No cash, not even a good amount of .lol coins, no official tournament structure, just kind of, you know, everywhere. And honestly, it kind of sucks because, you know, I did at some point want the game to do very well, and I had very great ideas. I mean, I had grew a 500 member server from absolutely 0 people, and you know, I knew that I was doing something right when it came to competitive, because people were always, you know, I always got messages about collabs and wanting to run events and people who would pay me to run events and stuff like that. I always got inquiries about all of that, and it just made no sense to me that they turned down someone who was relevant at the moment in the game. Obviously, not everybody knew me. I wasn't like freaking Westrum or like Dante and stuff like that, but like at the end of the day, you know, people knew me for, it was like the tournament guy, I guess you could say back then. Like a decent amount of people, enough people knew me to where it was like, obviously the obvious choice for someone to host tournaments and, you know, kind of bring competitive back into the official server and kind of expand upon the competitive community, because I just, you know, I always listened to community feedback when it came to my own server, so I knew how it functioned, how it worked, how to run. You know, my Twitch channel became very successful from it. I gained 2.5k followers off of it, so I know I was doing something right, obviously. Because I literally started at like 100 followers before I got into .lol, started hosting events, and I jumped up probably, yeah, literally up 1k within 3 months. So I knew I was doing something right, and I don't know. Honestly, at the end of the day, boys, I don't really know how to feel about it, but I just kind of wanted to get it out there and kind of say, you know, the devs, they don't really, like, as a whole, I can say that the devs aren't really focused on competitive. They made that very obvious when they kind of ghosted me, and obviously this isn't an attack on the devs. I don't want everybody to, you know, go send them threats and stuff like that. The only way you can really protest stuff like this is if you just don't play the game, which I just don't play the game anymore, and I think that's like the most fair way of doing it. I don't really talk about it a whole lot anymore. You know, I'm not someone to bring up the past really, but you know, a lot of people have been requesting this video. A lot of people kind of want to know like how it goes behind the scenes with the devs, and I just wanted to release this kind of just to give you guys a little bit of context. You know, I'm not here to start a crusade and be like, oh, you know, he needs to be hired back and he needs to, like, I'm kind of just, I'm through the sale of that boat. They'd have to pay me a lot of money to come back, because I'm going to be honest, I still have a whole book of ideas I can do to fix this fucking game. Because I'm going to be real honest, this game is ass. It's just not very great. The quality of the game is getting worse from what I'm hearing from people. It's super laggy, super choppy, and all they're doing is adding POIs, weapons, and more stuff to make the lag even worse. And I get like it's only on mobile right now, but what happens to the PC people who, you know, want to crossplay and like who actually want a clean cut performance? You know what I mean? Like, it just makes no sense to me that they're trying to push more of an agenda of, okay, we should add more stuff, more and more, and load the servers, rather than just fixing the issues they already have and focusing on those. I would rather go a whole year without an official update if they worked on the quality of the servers, or even just came up with ideas during that time for an actual update, and then kind of, you know, showed us their plan and kind of like explained a little bit why they're taking a break and stuff like that, and actually release the update and stuff like that, and not wait 3-4 months after the hype for the update has gone away and everything like that, and to continuously, you know, bring out teasers and stuff like that. That was another thing, is I really wanted to bring teasers out into the community and stuff like that. Sorry, but yeah, I wanted to bring more teasers and stuff like that, just to kind of keep the community in the loop, and so people had something to look forward to, and content creators had something to kind of base their content off of, and to actually make some content creation off of it and give .lol more views. I have so many ideas I could do to fix this game, but at this point they'd have to give me a bag. I'm not doing no $50 per video anymore. That's dog shit, considering that they're an official company. Back then I didn't care because it was just something I was going to do off to the side while I worked, but you know, if it's going to be something I'm going to be doing full time, especially fixing this game is definitely going to be full time. I would need a better salary. But yeah, besides that, you know, if any dev wants to reach out to me and kind of talk about this a little more, anything like that, you can go ahead and do so. You know, I'm trying to stay within the line of non-defamation, because obviously, you know, I'm just telling things that have happened and based on what I've seen, not based off of like, you know, objective evidence or anything like that. So I'm not really trying to, you know, defame them in any type of way. I'm just more of kind of getting the information that has already happened. And obviously, you know, it's their fault. You know, I didn't choose to be ghosted. I didn't ignore them. They ignored me. They ghosted me. They did it to themselves. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, honestly, in my personal opinion, when it comes to game wise, you know, I thought Epic Games was bad. This is terrible. Not only that, but don't even get me started on the Discord staff. It's made up of children. There's literally like few people I can think of. Maybe, I'm not gonna name drop obviously, but like there's a few people who I think are competent in the server, but like besides that, it's made up of children, people who don't know what they're doing. I am even getting my messages removed from clan promo, or even when we had I literally put .lol team in the clan promo message I put out, and they kept removing it just because of a personal grudge I guess somebody has in the moderator area against me. And it just made zero sense to me that, you know, they were constantly just going after me, and that, like, it just made no sense. Yeah, honestly, if it were up to me, I wouldn't have anybody below 16 as, you know, any type of any authority in a server like that. You're an official game. It's very immature when, you know, your staff is dropping N-words and, you know, and hard R's and, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. Like, I've seen so much stuff behind the scenes, like when it comes to certain specific people. Like, how do you hire people like that? It just makes no sense to me, in my personal opinion. But honestly, you know, if the game dies, well, you know what? I'll be the first one there to piss on their grave. That's all I gotta say. Obviously, if they want to reach out to me to go ahead and fix their game, go ahead and slap me with something a little bit better than $50, you know, a video, or I'm gonna need like a salary per week or something like that, because, you know, I have a lot of ideas. Trust me, I'm not gonna guarantee I can fix the game, but I have a lot of things that could drive it in a positive direction. And, you know, I'm obviously looking for a side job, or even if I can make it my main job, I would not even care. I would go full time on this. I'd spend, you know, 5-6 days a week trying to fix this game, community wise. And honestly, at this point, yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to kind of get out. You know, I don't want the video to be too long. It's already a little long. I'm gonna have to cut it up a little bit. boys, I think that's going to be the end of the video for today, and I will be uploading some more soon. I have a few videos ready, and I just want to get this one out real quick because a few people had, you know, requested it and everything. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.